Hello friends, how's it going? I'm having a lunch break and I thought let's record the intro to the book that I've been reading since yesterday. Naturals! Woohoo! And I've been watching Monk for the past 2 months and I finally completed the series and I'm so sad. The last episode literally made me so sad. If you haven't seen Monk, you have to go and watch it on Netflix. All 8 seasons. It is so good and I watched it with my 10-year-old and she loved it as well. Like, we're just so obsessed with Monk. I'm still in a zone for some murder mysteries, but I don't want to watch anything, and I actually got back into reading. I've been in such a reading slump. So we're starting with The Naturals. We are at chapter 29 already. Chapter 29 at page 219. So I only got like less than 100 pages left. I am obsessed. It's giving me Monk and Psych. When I got these books, I got all 4 of them at Big W and just one of those impulsive buys. This is like real life teenagers. They're like 17 and each one of them have their own skills. One can read people behavior, another one can read their character and personality, another one's like really good with cards and tricks and eavesdropping and stuff like that. So each one got some sort of skill. So it's not supernatural, it's actually a real life skill. So they pick up details of things, and so they get hired by the FBI to resolve cold cases. Each one of them has their own past, their own problem, the friendships forming, but at the same time they're all very wary of each other. I am like hooked. I started reading this yesterday. I'm gonna eat my lunch and try and complete this today. It's so easy to read. Like, I wasn't a big fan of the Inheritance Game. Like, I read one book and I was like, I don't see what the fuss is about, but I'm gonna give it a go one more time. This is so good. This is the mood I'm in. I'm gonna stop yapping and I'm gonna sit down and read this because I really want to. Hey friends. So I started falling asleep, so I am laying down, park, but then it's raining. So I'm gonna chill in a car for a little bit and read so we don't fall asleep. Yay! Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The mood reading, this was hitting the mood to the top. This is a YA, but I love it. Hit every single spot for me, and I'm so excited to read this series. So The Naturals, and we're following POV of the girl named Cassie, and she's really good at analyzing people's characters. Now, I think there's a bit of a love triangle going on between Dean, Michael, and Cassie. So I'm actually really interested to see what's gonna happen in the next book and throughout the series. The plot twist in the end kept twisting and keep plotting. For me to be surprised in mystery thriller books is a big plus because I figure things out very easily. I'm gonna give this 5 stars. Very easy to read. This book is only 300 pages. I finished it within 24 hours and I'm super excited to see what book 2 has to offer. All right, moving on to the next book. Okay, so I'm finally home and let's start our reading vlog. We're gonna read Emily Henry Funny Story. I'm giving Emily Henry one more chance. She is not my one of my favorite, or I actually just don't like. I don't like her books. I don't know why. I cannot relate. But I watched a few reviews and there's some people who absolutely love her. They love the book, obviously. And there's some people who have mixed feelings. So some would like, for example, love Book Lovers and wouldn't really like Happy Place and stuff like that. I read all of her books. Considering I was just trying to understand what the fuss is about, to be honest. So then I'm like, okay, people say that Funny Story is a little bit different, and you know, if you don't like other books, you're probably gonna like this one. So this is the last chance I'm giving her. If I don't like this book, I'm sorry, I'm not reading Emily Henry again. So fingers crossed that I'm gonna enjoy this ride, because I want to finish it within the next 24 hours. I started in chapter 1, and the concept of it is actually pretty fun. So, I mean, what a mess to go through. Like, a breakup's already hard. Imagine if you had to go through that and having to bunk with your exes. Like, how do you describe it? So, her ex's, your girlfriend's ex. We are on page 9. And chapter 2, page 9, like literally just there. And I like it that she's in late 20s, so already a little bit different to the other books where they're a little bit younger. I like that. The way they met, you know, when something's too good to be true, it probably is. And then you guys moved in together 5 months, and then you're buying a house. I get your credit is bad and savings are bad, but this is why you wait to buy a house together. You get your savings and your credit in check, and then you buy it together, so both of your names are on the mortgage and you contributed in some way to stay safe. Whereas now she's moving into a house that he bought and he insisted on paying the mortgage. I don't know. I don't know if I have trust issues or already. Before I knew I needed to leave. Chapter 2. 2 pages in, and I'm like already seeing red flags all over the place. Imagine getting an invitation to your ex's wedding. That's messed up. That's messed up. And you know what else messed up is that I'm actually enjoying this book. It is so relatable on so many levels. Poor Daphne, I feel sorry for her. I feel sorry for her. Girl, you're going through some stuff. Ooh. The banter between Miles and Daphne is freaking hilarious. Like, oh man, the part where she finds out where he works, I don't want to say it because it's actually really funny. But if you read the book on page 26, the part where they're talking about the job where he works, it's just, the banter is hilarious. Yo, I don't know what kind of voodoo stuff my Caro did, but I fell asleep for like 3 hours. And I fell asleep and I couldn't open my eyeballs. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I wake up and I feel better. And I feel better. I feel like I needed that. So, I have 1 more hour before I have to get up and do things. And we'll keep reading Funny Story. And we're on chapter 8. So we are on chapter 8. And y'all, I am really enjoying it. I don't know if it's also because the characters are a little bit older here. And, you know, they have proper jobs. It is a very character-driven book. The banter between them is hilarious. They're not too serious, but it's also not childish, but it's not like they're in their, 18, 19 or like early 20s. You can see they, a little bit more mature, but still like so playful. And her friend Ashley is hilarious. I am gonna do a little bit more reading. I made myself a drink because it's actually a little bit hot today, and hopefully my brain will wake up a little bit, and I'm gonna keep on reading.
sleep, so I am reading, and we are on page 154, and we just met Miles' sister, and she's freaking funny. She's so funny. Julia is a character. I love siblings when one is chilling and another one is freaking crazy. And Julia, she's a firecracker, that one. She makes the whole story, like, she breaks up that little tension in the middle of the book and just adds a little bit of spice to it. Love it. Good morning, lovelies. It's the next day. I've got my coffee. I've got my book. I'm on chapter 25. I'm literally sitting here laughing and giggling, and I can't stop telling my kids how much I actually enjoy this book. And the part between Dad, with Dad and Starfire is freaking hilarious. I can literally imagine it in my head. And I love that before that, there was a vulnerable moment that came up. And so far, this book is delivering. It's delivering all the rom-com-y vibes. It's like watching How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days rom-com, for example. This is the vibe it's giving me. It's got emotion, vulnerability. It's got that sarcasm. It's got the funny moments. You've got that random friend that just makes everything funnier. You've got that sibling that makes everything funnier. And the couple is like drawn to each other, but they're like, no, we want to be friends. And it's got all the good bits. And I'm like, what is next? What is next? How full is this apartment gonna get? I'm like, yeah. And I love her mom. Her mom is a vibe. She does CrossFit. She hangs out with her friends. She lives the best life. And I'm like, this book is relatable in so many levels. I really enjoy it. I am at exactly 100 page mark. I just finished my workout, and so I have a bit of a break. I really, really want to finish this now and give you my thoughts on it. I hope I don't fall asleep because I got hardly any sleep last night. And after the workout that I had, I'm a little bit tired, but I am actually very excited to finish this book and just see where things go. I wanted to stop here and just have a quick discussion. First of all, these people need therapy. It is never a good idea to jump from one relationship to another. We all know that. Most likely not gonna last. I don't know if these two people will last or not. Don't know. We'll just see. They're friends. And from what's going on in this story, there's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of things that both of them need to work through on their own before anything else happens. And it's so interesting because I can relate to Daphne on so many levels, and I can relate to Miles on so many levels. Like, I am Daphne and I am Miles. Their problems, their feelings, expectations, and the love language is me. And I'm laying there. I'm like, and it reminds me of myself in my 20s. And it reminds me of how much I've grown this far from life experience and forcing myself to deal with my problems rather than running away. These people need to deal with their problems. Our families can cause so much trauma on us that later in life we cannot create healthy relationships. And I think that's the whole point of this rom-com. It's cute, it's sweet, it's meant for so much more than a sweet little meet cute and revenge and friends to lovers vibe. This book is so much more than that. It is so much more than that. And I can't get over it. It's like reading a self-help book and reflection, and you're looking in the mirror and you're like, been there, done that. But these people are in their 30s. And I'm like, I think this, like, you know, yeah. Anyways, let's read. Good girl, don't do it. Don't do it. She gonna do it? Love how Emily Henry explains the emotions that arise during certain conversations. Because I'm like, yes, that's how I felt. Like that rage. Like she got some news and she's like, I tuck my elbows against my sides to keep from shaking. To hide that my insides feel like a hurricane. Not the calm eye of a storm, but the vicious edges tearing everything to shreds. He's wrong. He has to be. You know when you're really pissed? Like you kind of like on the edge, like you want something, but then you're like, I want that, but I also want this, and now I'm unsure, but I shouldn't, give up my dream for something else again. But then something else is like might be better, and then you find out, oh, by the way, this was happening, and you're like, and then you're just raging like that hurricane on the inside. You know it's gonna hurt, but your mind is clear, and you're like, okay, so that's the way I gotta go, and you kind of get that like clarity, and it says, someday I'll be okay, someday, and I shut the door. Man, Emily, girl, did you go through this as well? I bet you did. I mean, we all go through them really messy breakups. Oh, she nailed it. Yo, this book is playing with my emotions. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, storm's over. I'll walk from here. Like, not literal storm, like the situationship storm. Oh my god. My heart is like blah 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 blah, because I literally can't picture it, and I feel like this is giving me trauma flashbacks. I feel like I need to go call my therapist and be like, oh my god, I don't think I'm healed. Oh my god. I think I need a minute. She's having a little dialogue with her mom. And this hits on so many levels, because I had exactly the same dialogue with my children. And they're not even grown yet. I did not expect this. Most of you know I do not like Emily Henry. But this, literally sobbing. What? She's like, what exactly did I do? And she said, you hear. Whenever it counts, you hear. When I grow up, I want to be you. Unless you have kids. Oh God, no, it'd just be you. Be the best you, the most you. That's what Mom would say. This book. Okay, she won. I will take the beating. She won. Yes. I love this. This is the only book that I love from Emily Henry. This is the only book that makes sense. Look, I still got my mascara. My eyes are watery. My mascara is running. There's a scene with the mom. There's a scene with the dad. There's a scene with the ex. There's a scene with the future partner. There's a scene of her realization that she needs to stand on her own 2 feet. There's a scene of friendship. There's a scene of her future and her past, and realizing that sometimes you're not a victim of the situation and you just gotta take charge and make the difference. And I am blown away by this book. This book made me giggle. This book made me cry. This book made me think. This book made me relate. I feel like I just been to a therapy session with my friend in the park, and we're just chatting. And I'm like, girl, I know how you feel. And she's like, this is what's happening. And I'm like, yeah, this is what's happening in my life. And then it just flows. And then you like vent. And then you feel better. And it's like, yeah, I can't even explain. Like, this is a 5-star, 110%. Like, first time, I was so scared to read this. I'm like, I don't want to waste my time reading another rom-com. And not 1 second of this book's been wasted. I absolutely loved it. I'm speechless. I'm gonna display it on my shelf just like this, so I can look at it and be like, yeah. I think when I reread it next time, maybe in a few years, I'm actually gonna edit it or just highlight the parts that I loved, or even just the chapters. There's like, sometimes you don't even want to highlight just sentences. You want to highlight the whole chapter number, because the whole chapter was amazing. Daphne grew. She grew. I'm glad how it ended. You know, usually they're like, oh, yes, I love you, and I love you too. And, you know, and I was like, girl, please stand your ground. I'm like, come on. Don't let, like, this book is so good. Don't let it end like that. And I love the ending. I love the ending before the last chapter, how they had the discussion and they were grown adults. Like, this is how real life is. Sometimes you realize you love the person, you tell your feelings to each other, and then you gotta live in reality. And this is it. It is romance, and I feel like it's a bit of like general fiction. Like, I just, this blew me away. This was something else. I think I need to take a nap before I start on. I don't even know what mood I'm in. This book ruined me. I thought I'm gonna go and read like thriller or something. I don't know, but I'm like, this book ruined me. Now I don't know what I want to read. I need to take a nap and reset my brain. I think I'm just so emotionally exhausted. I'm like emotionally drained right now. Just lay down and watch some YouTube videos and take a nap. But Emily Henry, girl, you won my heart with this one. Give me more of this relatable older people with families, please. Girl, please, more relatable stuff. This is awesome. Thank you. Good morning. My hair. What? Good morning, lovelies. It is 5:30 in the morning, and my freaking dog woke me up. So I am reading the next chapter. So, the next book. I call it This Cruel and Lovely. So I'm a bit slow because just got up and my hair is... I actually started reading this book yesterday. I sat down and I could not put this down. I attempted to read this book about 6 months ago. I've got all 4 of them. About 6 months ago, I attempted to read, and I was like, I just couldn't get into it. And I've recently discovered this YouTuber, Emmy Ramian, something like that. And I love her vibe. She's so chill. she's like in her late 20s, and she was reading I think book 3, and she was telling us how she obsessed with the series. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, okay, you know what? After that emotional roller coaster of funny story, I need something to dip my toes in back into fantasy. I mean, I've got so many series that I need to finish, but that was like, let's put myself into another series. And this is it. It's about this girl, Priska, and she lives in this village, and where the gods and the king take the powers away from the newborns. So they bring the newborns to them, they take the powers away. And there's, I don't know if I'm allowed to, I'm not allowed to say it, okay, because I already read something here. I'm reading the back of the book, so I don't expose anything. And they use those powers to protect the borders from like fays and like other vicious creatures. So they've been told. She kind of finds out a little bit more about her history, about why the way she is and the way the kingdom is. So I reached 200 pages. This book is 560 pages. I'm like, you really have to be kind of reading it in a zone. Like I had my headphones on, I had my little fantasy playlist on, so I was in a zone and I was so absorbed into this world. But if you don't really pay attention, you kind of like, what is this for? And I mean, it's not like you miss big plot points, but I feel like it helps to keep you on the toes and keep you interested in the story. And guys, I have a few more days. I think I have 4 days since I started this vlog, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna finish this today. Yesterday I've been reading this, and in 3 hours I read almost 200 pages, but I had to get up and like make dinner and like wash dishes and like feed the animals and the kids and stuff like that. So it wasn't just like sitting and not doing anything else. But I'm super excited to keep going with this story. It is, yeah, something else. Oh my God, I just realized for some reason I thought it was a heart. It's a clock. And then there's like spider webs. It's pretty cool. And like time clock, flower there, and like, so I dropped you. Yeah, and then there's like an actual cloak too. I'm gonna go tell my dog off. This is what I woke up to this morning. One day you will have to make a choice, be a torch for just one soul in the dark, or burn like the sun for all of them. I bet you that's things that I love, because they're not revealing too much information. I love that later on in this series, because there's 4 books, when this little quote would make sense, and I'll be like, remember that time I read that quote at page 242, book 1? Makes sense. I am completely absorbed in this world. It is so simple, yet so interesting, because I mean, these people are mean, but our Priska girl got some things to figure out.
Sunday. It is Sunday, and instead of relaxing, and it's extremely hot, I'm sweating. Also, I've decided to declutter my closet. I decided to go through my closet and really throw some clothes away because I got really hyped from finish this book. I finished it, y'all. I finished it, and I would like to talk about it. It took me about 48 hours to finish this book. This book is 560 pages. It reads like plated prisoner series, and I love that because I read Goldfinch in October, and it left me wanting more. And because it was the last story, I feel like this book is hitting the spot. The thing that I very much missed from reading Glint. Super fast read, easy to understand. The characters are awesome. The plot is great. I love the ending. It's not so... There wasn't like much of a plot twist, but it left you kind of craving more. Definitely left me craving more. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've got the next book, but I'm going to give myself a little breather before I reach into book 2. I think I'll start on book 2 tomorrow. Maybe like 4.5 star. And the reason for half a star is because the romance part of it, the way they kind of combined together was just random. It just came out of nowhere. And I'm like, okay. And the girl didn't even like... It was one of those things where the guy is possessive and the girl's like, oh, okay. But then she's supposed to be badass. And I'm like, in real story, the girl would be like, whoa, man, hold on. The romance part just didn't make sense to me. And then in the end, there's a plot twist to it. But then, again, the romance, it was just... I feel like there should have been a little bit more build up to it than that. Or at least don't make it so spicy all of a sudden. But generally speaking, I think this will be a 5-star series. I just have a good feeling. There's so many crumbs that Stasia left for us. So I have one more day. Tomorrow marks as my week done. So I've decided to move on to the next book. I think we're going to do a little palette cleanser. Better than the movies. I think a nice easy rom-com will do it. And it's only like 340 pages, so I think I can get through this today easily. Hey guys, I'm on page 72, and I don't know if it's because the kids are being a little bit loud, or I'm just not in the zone for it, or what. But I feel like this book is a bit too... I just feel like at the moment it's a bit too childish for me. It's very ditzy. Privileged is the word that comes into my head. I'm not having fun with it. I'm reading it very, very quickly because in total, reading between like cleaning the girls' room and tidying up my closet and just sitting down now and just enjoying some wine and reading this book, it's not hitting the same when you're reading a sweet little rom-com. Like, this is actually pissing me off. Like one of those, you know, when you're a little bit older and you look at the young girl like, oh my god, ah! And then they're like, oh, and then like, take a picture. And they're like, oh my god, take it out. Like, it's just that feeling. And then you look at them like, I remember being like that, but it's pissing you off. I really don't know if, because I'm like, I mean, I'm 70 pages in. hot. It's hot. It's summer is here. In Australia, summer is here, and the summers are ruthless. All right, I'm here to talk about Better Than the Movies. I got through this, and it is 7 o'clock. It took me about 3 hours to get through this book. Okay, I'm in my 30s. I read Betting on You, and I really liked it. It was almost a 5-star for me, I believe. It's been last year, so I don't quite remember. I remember I really enjoyed this book. I'm going to give this book a 3-star. I think I'm being generous about it. For me personally. Okay, I'm going to give you the mood that it gave me. It's like, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. If I was like 18, 17, 18, 19 maybe, I would probably enjoy it. The main character enjoys rom-coms, and this is where the title comes from. So she's crazy about love. She loves love. And it's so random. And I was like, oh, okay. It had no point. It didn't present anything to me. It's like a low 3-star. Now, everybody's different. And me saying this about this book, me personally, I probably wouldn't even be able to write anything like this myself in the first place. So, I mean, to the author, you did an amazing job. It's just didn't hit my spot. Maybe the do-over, I might give it a go. I don't think I'll be reading book 2 from this. I don't know, I just didn't do it. But oh well.
Alright guys, thanks so much for joining me again. It is nighttime. It is Sunday. That means mom duty calls and I need to get my kids ready for school tomorrow. So I'm going to go and do that. And I would like to thank you guys for joining me again. Thank you for going on this journey with me for a week and reading with me. I just love books. I love the escapism they give me, and just having an opportunity to be able to create this different world in my head and just be able to, you know, kind of experience different things without having to go anywhere, literally just words and pages. But all the authors out there, even if the books didn't do it for me personally, you're doing an amazing job. You have an amazing job. You're doing an amazing job. Not everybody can do it. I wish I could write a book. That's one of my dreams. But I literally cannot put thoughts on paper. Like, it cannot come out of my mouth on the page. Like, I just glitch all the time. I hope you have an amazing week ahead of you, and I will see you in the next one.